Something big is happening in the Parkland, Florida housing market, and today we're going to cover exactly what that is. Because as a boots on the ground operator of a high performance real estate team, I know that there is so much misinformation out there, and a lot of it starts at the top. It starts with the Redfins, it starts with the Zillow, and it trickles down to content creators that are intent on scaring the ever living bejesus out of you. Because bad news gets lots of clicks and bad news gets a lot of watch time. But I'm committed to telling you the truth as to what's actually happening so you can go out there and make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. Now, full disclosure, I grew up in Parkland. I lived in Cypress Head for a very long time. And so I've watched Parkland grow, expand, and change over the last 30 plus years. And I've got a confession to make. I've been stalking the Parkland housing market for a very long time, not just for myself, but for clients that are shopping in Heron Bay as well as Cypress Head. And they come to me often with questions and concerns because they see what Redfin is saying and it confuses them. So let's demystify what the narrative is and see what the truth is so that you can go out there and make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. And as per Redfin, Parkland housing market is somewhat competitive. Homes in Parkland receive 3 offers on average and sell in around 76 days. The average sales price of a home in Parkland was $1.1 million, up almost 26% since last year. Now, as I mentioned previously, I'm working with buyers who are shopping in very hyper-local markets within Parkland. And one of the things that we've noticed is that homes are sitting significantly longer than they have in the past. And while this says that the average home receives 3 offers, the homes that we've been targeting have gotten zero, zilch, nada. It's been crickets. But that's a function of it being massively overpriced. There are lots of home sellers in Heron Bay and Cypress Head that think they're playing the lottery and have radically overpriced those homes. And those homes are not going to sell, at least not at that price. But Redfin says one thing. Let's see what the truth is. And keep in mind, anything we're looking at right now is old. It's February numbers. We're in March, but not to worry. I've got you covered. I've got March numbers now, so you don't have to wait until next month or the end of next month for the rest of the market to catch up and publish its data. I've got it today. But here's what February 2023 housing market numbers are for Parkland. And keep in mind, I'm only talking about single family homes, but this is the 5,000 foot overview. The hyperlocal market that you might be shopping in within Parkland is likely to trade very differently. But keep in mind, Redfin said the average sales price was $1.1 million. Let's look and see if that's accurate as per the MLS. And what you can see is closed sales took a beating, down 39%. The median sales price was up 12.6% to 1.137500, and the average sales price was up almost 5% to 1.190. And in my book, you might as well round that up to 2 million, which is a whopping difference from the 1.1 that Redfin confirmed. And if you think that the average sales price is 1.1 and it's really 1.2, you're likely to be very disappointed by what the market yields. And again, keep in mind, we're talking about the 5,000 foot overview, and there are hyperlocal markets that trade very differently with much higher handles. But in any event, Redfin data is simply wrong. Dollar volume took a beating too, down 36%, which is directly tied to closed sales, so that's to be expected. Percent of original list price received, down 3.5%. 98% in 2022, 95% today. That is a function of one of two things, either overpriced listings or buyers negotiating better deals. And given we've been negotiating the best deals that we have in years in Q1 of this year, I suspect it's the latter. Median time to contract up 100%. It now takes 70 days to go under contract. 70 days to go under contract is a bit longer than normal, and it's certainly a far cry from what it used to be. But please know that if you price and market your home the right way, you can get your home under contract with the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else in a much shorter period of time. which is what I happen to specialize in. Pending sales are down 17%, 40 sales in February versus 48 last year. New listings down 31%. There are not lots of folks that are interested in selling their home and trading from a 2, 3, 4, 5% mortgage interest rate into a 7, 8, 9, 10% mortgage interest rate because it doesn't make any sense to do so, which is why it's critical you work with a real estate professional who knows how to negotiate and advocate for you the right way. Because chances are, if you have a motivated seller that must sell, you can negotiate a seller credit to buy down your interest rate forever, or at least for the life of the term. All right, new listings down 31%. New listings are down 31%, 42 versus 61. For the same reasons I just described. Inventory of homes for sale up 108%. That is great news if you're thinking about shopping in Parkland because you've got way more choices. You've got way more leverage. And it's terrible news if you're thinking about selling because now you've got a lot more competition. Now, you can also see that the month supply of inventory increased 200% from less than a month to 2.7 months, which is still a seller's market. But if you're thinking about selling, you want to be in front of the competition because I suspect as time marches on, as the pain of recession becomes more real, as people start to believe that their equity is challenged because home prices are starting to drop, there's going to be a much bigger change of supply in homes available. And when that happens, it becomes the catch a falling knife game as far as home prices are concerned. So you definitely want to be in front of that if you're thinking about selling. What will the future hold? Yet to be determined. I don't know, but I do know what March numbers are. So let's get into that right now. And please keep in mind, we're talking about the 5,000 foot overview of Parkland, and the hyperlocal markets are going to trade very differently. But what you can see is that in February, and again, this is a restatement of what we just shared, the average sold price in February was up 4.5%, and it was up 9.1% compared to a year ago. And for the quarter, the average active price took a hit of 3.3%, but the average sold price was up almost 2%. But that's February, and this is March. So let's look and see what March yields. And what you'll see is that in the current versus previous month to date, meaning from March 1st to March 25th versus February 1st to February 25th, the average listing price was up 0.5%. But the average sold price was down almost 11%. That's a big drop. And if we go a little bit further, what you can see is that the average sold price for March relative to March a year ago is that the average sold price has dropped almost 22%. And the average active listing price is down almost 21%. And if we compare ourselves this year versus the previous year, you can see that the average active price was down 20.7%, and the active sold price is down almost 6%. The trend is not your friend if you're thinking about selling in Parkland. And the trend is absolutely your friend if you're thinking about buying because you've got leverage and you can negotiate the best deal. Now, I hope you found this content valuable, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, reach out to me directly if we can serve and support you at the highest level, and check out my next video up there because I suspect you're going to love it a lot. And until next time, peace.